So Donald Trump has a long history of slandering his opponents, including military ones like John McCain. You remember this famous comment.
Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
It's amazing every time. Remember, Donald Trump got not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 deferments out of Vietnam. McCain goes, gets captured, comes back, says, I like people who weren't captured, who weren't prisoners of war. That's not all he called them. If you remember back then, this is what he also said.
I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, you know, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that because I don't like losers.
Amazing. Loser. Loser. Dummy. Gets captured by the Vietnamese. I never would have gotten captured by the Vietnamese. It's true. He never did get captured by the Vietnamese. That's because he never went. Now, he's going to talk about his military credentials in a second. But before we get there, remember Hugh Hewitt recently asked him, that's a conservative talk show host, hey, it doesn't look like you have many military advisors. You don't seem to know the difference between the Quds Force and the Kurds. You don't seem to know a lot of this stuff. And Trump had this brilliant explanation to tell him what he would do if he was in office.
You know, when you're asking me about who is running this, that is not, I will be so good at the military, your head will spin.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's amazing on so many fronts. Look, if you give me that job at accounting, I know, of course, I don't know any accounting right now. Well, balance sheet, I don't know what a balance sheet is. That's a gotcha question, okay? But if you give me the job, I'll be so good at accounting, it'll make your head spin. It would be preposterous in any other circumstance. But that's okay, because today he's going to explain why he's so good at the military, because it turns out he has a background in it. Really? But I thought you were bragging in your books about how you were going to sex orgies and partying it up while other kids were getting shot and killed during Vietnam while you were getting your deferments. No, he explained, first of all, why that happened. He said, my number, referring to his draft number, my number was so incredible, and it was a very high draft number. Donald Trump, he's not just incredible. Numbers associated with him are incredible. My number was incredible. I had the best number. It was such a high draft number because everything about me is incredible, right? Then he goes on to explain in this book that's coming out, Never Enough. Anyway, so I never had to do that, but I felt that I was in the military in the true sense because I dealt with those people. Really? Okay, so now let's try to divine what he's talking about here. First of all, that's not true. We covered this back when he insulted John McCain in the first place. He got the deferments because he was in school, and for mysterious reasons, once he was out of school, having nothing to do with his high draft number, he made that up later. Okay, so Smoking Gun did a brilliant job of tracking that, and as usual, it's another Donald Trump lie. And apparently, in this book, he takes off his shoes and socks. And so, oh, my heel. Oh, yeah, that's what I did. Now, wait. Did you have a high draft number, or did you have a messed up heel? You got to keep your lies straight, Donald, right? But in this case, he's referring to how he knows military people because he went to the New York Military Academy. Now, that sounds pretty good. Like, what is that, like West Point? No. That, at this point, now, of course, he went a long time ago, but at this point, to give you a sense of what kind of academy it is, in order to send your kid there, you got to pay $31,000 a year. That's for junior high and high school, $31,000 a year. You know what the New York Military Academy is? It's basically for really rich people's bratty kids who they can't get under control, and they send to a military academy to get some discipline. Now, Donald Trump was sent there for that same exact reason. I'll tell you why at the end. That's also awesome. But meanwhile, that's why he says he's dealt with those people, referring to the military. He went on to say his education at the New York Military Academy gave him, quote, more training militarily than a lot of the guys that go into the military. Oh, my God, could you imagine if a Democrat said this? I went to a fancy prep school, and there I do declare I got more training than those people in the military. I mean, I probably know a lot more than the people in the military. I mean, I never went. Of course, I ran from Vietnam. But I'm better than them. I know the military better. Oh, the Democrat would be shredded to pieces. Everybody in the media would be like, how dare you support our troops, you coward, right? But Donald Trump, he didn't say anything, man. You say, oh, yeah, that's okay, I went to a prep school. That's why I didn't have to go to Vietnam, where people my age were getting killed for that war. But that's okay. I know better than them anyway. Because they were dummies. They were dum-dums. They got captured. They bothered to go to a war, couldn't get their dad to get them out of it. Dum-dums. This guy's the definition of born on third base, thought he hit a triple. Maybe even more so than George W. Bush. So finally, why did he have to go to that prep school? Because he'd gotten kicked out of the last school he was in when he was in 8th grade. Why did he get kicked out? Because he assaulted a music teacher. Now get a load of this. He claims he assaulted that music teacher because, quote, I didn't think he knew anything about music. All the way back in 8th grade, this obnoxious prick, bullying everybody, including his teachers, hitting a teacher. Why? Because I know music better than you. I'm the music guy. You don't know anything about music. My music numbers are terrific. That's what they had to send him, his bratty, sorry ass to New York Military Academy. He learns nothing from the experience. He comes out and says, I know military better than you military people who were in war and were in danger and got shot at. I went to a prep school. I'm fantastic. And this obnoxious prick is clearly the #1 candidate on the Republican side. So Republicans, apparently this is what you wanted all along. Someone who didn't know a goddamn thing, but just could bully people, make up one lie after another, and by the way, denigrate our troops while he does it. So be careful what you wish for. Looks like you just got it.